Okay, now. Yeah, I had sent you the request, Siddha. Can you go to the location where you have downloaded the software? Okay. Or else go to the prompt which is open on your in your machine. Like I guess like you went a little bit. Like, can you go back? Means back means in that installer itself.
Yeah, into the installer, Raghu.
Yeah. Go to the last but one beside
Okay.
that Chrome. Not that one. You are already in the middle of installation, right? So go on to that. Go
Yeah,
to
yeah.
that location. And can you say
Okay.
go back?
Go. Okay, back. Okay.
Okay. So just please note your team. Whenever you try to double click on it, it asks for you to run. Once you say run, it opens this installer, and in this installer, you need to just check the checkbox like I accept the license terms and say next. Okay. So can you please say next? Yeah. So yeah. Can everyone see the screen? Oh, okay. Okay, that's good. So now what I want every one of you to do is like make sure that you are in this page. If you are in this page, Siddharth, don't do anything for a while.
Okay.
So if you are in this
Okay.
page,
Okay.
what I want every one of you to do is like say next. Okay. So why? Because like this is we are trying to install in a developer default mode only, not any other mode. So whatever settings that are present in this screen, just make sure that you just go ahead and click on next and I hope everyone is following and everyone is trying to do the same setup, right? Okay. So now, Siddharth, can you please go ahead and say next? And before you click on next, if possible, just show the, okay, if you're clicked on, that's fine, not a problem. Okay. So once you say next, here it shows like the system prerequisites. So it tries to install all these things if they are not present. So just say next in the same in this window also. Yeah,
Yes.
you
Yes,
can say
Raghu.
still yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And once the most important thing is like in this window, it will install each and every prerequisites and all the softwares that are required. So once you are present in this screen, make sure that you go ahead and click on execute so that it will start installing each product, each one, like each product, one after the other.
Click execute, Raghu.
Yeah, click on execute once, it will start installing.
Okay. Yeah, I know.
Okay, just can you please join me?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I understand that like I will be just working on the program in the background. So once this is done, or if it shows anything, just ping me or let me know. Okay. Yeah, give me a second. I will take a look into that issue. Install is done. Okay, so that can you show that screen once again? Okay. Yeah. So just say next. Okay. And can everyone look at this specific screen? In this screen, if you notice, here the port number which is being shown is 3306, which means from now onwards, like if you want to talk to a database and if you want to send some requests or queries, all you need to do is you need to talk to a port called 3306. That is the reason why if you notice yesterday in our previous class, we were writing a URL pattern called localhost colon means everything followed by 3306, right? Which means that 3306 is a port number on which the MySQL listens for all the requests and response. And the other thing is in this installer, we will be setting the username and password. So just be careful while you are installing. Okay, even if you don't set up a password, that's not an issue. You can do it. Means you can still connect it to the database. And so in this screen, can you please say next? Okay, now notice here, team, everyone. This is the location where I want you to set up some password. Actually, means it requests you to use a password. So in all my examples, I'm going to use the password as password itself. Okay, MySQL root password and repeat password both as password and password. If you want to use the same thing, then you can go ahead and type in password and password. If not, if you want to use a different password, you can always enter whatever password you want, but always make sure that you remember the password which you are working. Okay, this is not a workbench. This is just installing that MySQL. And this is what you will be using, like whatever password that you give here, you can use the same password when you open your workbench to connect to the server, right? So this password is basically used for connecting to the server. So whatever password you give, make sure that you remember that one. And by default, if you want to execute the programs right away, like how I did, you can give the password as password and repeat password also as password only. Okay. So now, once this is done, and in real-time systems, like what happens is they will have a strong password and they will change the port number. Why? Because 3306 is the default port number which everyone knows, right? So to make sure that it is not hacked or something like that, port numbers and all these things will be changed. But since we are just in a development mode, we can go ahead and do this. So, and can you say next in this screen? Okay, so this screen also shows that the Windows service name is MySQL and all. That's fine. Everything is good. So say next in this screen. Okay, so go ahead and say execute. Apply server configuration. Say execute. Okay, maybe what I will do is like I will just hold on here for a minute for others to make sure that you come to the same screen and just notice that everything is in green, which means that everything has started perfectly and everything is good. Okay. So those of you who are installing the software, just make sure that you come to this screen, and once everything is good, click on finish. Okay, so that can you please click on finish? Yeah, say next. Yeah, here, if you notice here, the next thing that we did is we said next and came to the screen to say connect to the server screen. Just notice here, team, in this screen, if at any point of time, if you say like the username and password is given here, just make sure that you go ahead and click on the check button. Can you click on the check button? Yeah. See, connection successful, which means like whatever password, everything you have given, everything, the connection is successful. So please make sure that you go ahead and click on next now, and please say execute. Yeah, now once this is also done, please make sure that you go ahead and say finish. Mhm. It is complete, so it should be good now. Say next. Yeah, say finish. Installation is complete now. And everyone make sure that you are in this screen which shows installation complete, and once you click finish, it should be gone. Now, in your prompt or anywhere, can you just type in something like MySQL Workbench, MySQL, not in CMD. Can you just type in instead of CMD, just type in there MySQL. Okay, okay, that's good. So we'll do the next step. Just hold on. So, is everyone done with this? Okay. The next thing that I want you to do here is like, Siddharth, can you go to your Chrome browser and say something like search for MySQL Workbench download. Everyone, I just want you to follow this and do this. Uh, yeah, MySQL Workbench download, and please be in the screen for a while, just for a minute. So this is like an IDE which is used for connecting to the database. Okay, this is used for uh, connecting to the database like an Eclipse. Okay, so all you need to do here is like download this workbench and install, so that that can be used to talk to the server that you have installed right now. Please click on that MySQL download, the first link you can click on that, and if possible just copy that first link and paste it in the chat window so that everyone else can get the same thing if they need it. Okay, that's it. Now please go back to your screen, MySQL download screen, and if you can scroll down. Oh, just a second, I think the screen got stuck. Okay, now if you scroll down, uh, not this one, I guess. On the oh, this is the one. You can say, uh, MySQL install MySQL Workbench community. So you can select like if it is a 32-bit or 64-bit. Based on that, you can select any of the first two links. If it is a 64-bit, you can click on that second download link. Yeah, 25.8 MB. Select that one and make sure that you download the software. Yeah, scroll down. You need not log in and just say no thanks to start my download. Okay. So once the download is done, click on that download. Click on the download. Did it show something? Yeah. MySQL Workbench community. Just double click on it. Yeah. Say next. Next. Yeah. It just say complete installation means we'll go with the default stuff here. Say next. Install. Okay. Is the installation done? One second. I guess it's done. So can you minimize your window? Okay. Now can you do the same thing like go back and search for MySQL? It should show the workbench now. Yeah. So just hold on for a minute. Can you show the same thing once again? Can you do the search once again? Yeah, every time just make sure team like if you want to create a shortcut on the desktop, you can create a shortcut. If not, when you type in MySQL, it should show that MySQL Workbench 6.3. So something like that, whatever version you have installed. So select out that. Can you just highlight that one or show that one? Which one? Whichever you, yeah. So MySQL Workbench is what we have selected. So all you need to do is like if you are already selected for the first time, it will take a while to load it. So once it loads, it opens up a kind of an IDE for you. So just open that MySQL Workbench every time you want to connect to the server. Okay. So did you connect to that? Are you able to open that workbench?
डेली डेली क्लास होती तुम्हारा कैसा करते
Yeah, what happens to that? Is it not loading up or Okay, can you do me a quick favor? Go ahead and double click on the MySQL Workbench installer once again. Yeah, next. Yeah, next. Yeah, say install. Mm-hmm. Say finish. So open that MySQL. Yeah, open that once again. Not sure like what is happening. Did anyone else install the same thing or do the installation just now? Okay, not loading. So Siddharth, I will do one thing. Let me make try it once again. Run as administrator. Try to do that. I guess it's no use. Like nothing else has modified. So let me do one thing. Let me make somebody as the presenter once. Just hold on. I just send the request to Sandeep. So in the meantime, Siddharth, can you do one thing like reboot your machine once, log out and log in back, and try to see then if you are able to open or not. Uh, yeah. Oh, okay. Can you open your workbench or Siddharth? You there? Yeah. So just a quick thing, team. Sandeep, can you do me a favor? Like, can you close the workbench and can you show them like how to open or how this prompt comes to everyone once again? Yeah, that's very good. So all you need to do is like you go ahead and search for MySQL, and as soon as you see that MySQL workbench, all you going to do is like go ahead and click on that workbench. So once you click on that workbench, it opens an IDE something like this. Okay, so this specific IDE is basically used for connecting or talking to the server that we have installed right now. Okay, so MySQL server, in that server you have all the configurations like tables, schemas, everything will be present in that server. So using this interface, this is a kind of a graphical user interface that you see for this MySQL. Now, by default, anytime it opens up this prompt, the default way will be like this is the window that you see. On the left hand side corner, it is showing something like local instance MySQL 56, right? Can you just hover your mouse on it? Yeah, that's the one. So every time, all you need to do is you need to just go ahead and click on that one. Just do click once. So once you click on that one, it asks for the password. It asks you to enter the password that you have given during the installation. Okay, see here it's showing opening SQL editor and all. So just a second. Okay, see here. If you notice here, the username is root and the password, whatever password that you enter, you need to enter here is nothing but the password that you gave during the server installation. And if you have given a different password, enter that. If not, if you have given a default password that I told, the password is password itself. So what you can do is like you can type in the password and then you can say save password to vault, so that every time you click on that one, it will not ask you to re-enter the password every time. Okay, so you can just say save password to vault, and once that is done, you can say okay. So from the next time onwards, whenever you click on that left hand side link like local instance MySQL 56, you will never ever see the prompt for the password again. Okay, so now the next thing. uh, a very quick change I would like you to do. So can you go on to your what is that? MySQL, on the top right hand side corner there are three blue color boxes, right? Yeah, click on the last box. No, not the first one, last one, means extreme right hand side one. Yeah, that's good. That's all I want you to do. Okay. No, no, no. Means the screen might be a little bit slow. I think you have clicked on both the right hand side one and the left hand side one. Both you have clicked, again. So just click on the extreme left hand side one so that it will enable something, and make sure that the extreme right hand side one is on the blue color. Sorry, on black. Extreme right hand side one should be on black, and the first and the second one must be in blue color. Okay, that's all. As simple as that. Now as and when you start using these things, you will try to understand like what is this uh, features and all those things. But this is very simple. The first thing that I want you to highlight here is like on the you do one thing on the left hand side. Do you see something called management? On the left hand side, do you see something like below navigator, something called as management, right? So beside management, there is an up arrow and down arrow. Just click on that one. Yeah, so that you can kind of minimize that one. Okay, that's fine. So now the first thing that you see here is only schemas. Okay, so schemas are a kind of the databases. Like these three databases are given to you by default when you install MySQL. Okay, now the next thing that you need to understand here is like how to create your own schema, and how you can insert or create a table, and how you can insert some data so that we can connect to the database in the current scenario. So for that, let me do one thing. Let me go ahead and ping you. Just hold on. See here, I had pinged a set of SQL queries. Can you copy each and everything and paste it in your query browser? everything till the last and paste it in your query browser. Okay, just make sure that after every semicolon, please hit an enter. After line number 1, after line number 7, after line number 8, 9, after every semicolon, just hit an enter. It just in order to make sure that they are all different queries, or that is where the query ends, basically, to differentiate them. That's all. Okay. Now see here, these are certain set of basic SQL queries that I want every one of you to run as shown here in your MySQL prompt, so that you can create or you can go ahead and execute the programs that we do in the class. See, if you want to do it, you can go ahead execute these queries. If not, you can always do it on your own. So the first statement is pretty much equivalent to creating a schema. So if you want, you can execute the first statement. If not, what you can do is like, Siddharth, can you, sorry, Sandeep, I guess, right? So Sandeep, on the top, do you see something called as a query? And below that Q, for that query, not that one, beside file, yeah, that query, that's correct. So below that query, there is something called as a schema kind of symbol with a plus symbol. Do you notice that? Can you just highlight on your cursor on that? Exactly below the Q. Yeah, that one. Do you notice here? Create a new schema in the connected server, right? So either you can execute the statement one, or you can select that one. Please click on that one. And there you can say like Athena, uh, Athena. You can just type in and say apply on the bottom right hand side. Say apply. Okay. Once you say apply, so it shows like a specific query like create schema Athena. So this is how I copied all those things and I had sent it to you. So say apply and say finish. So it shows a successful execution, execute SQL statements with a tick mark, which means that your statement has executed successfully. So say finish. Okay, now what I want you to do is like just highlight the bottom below part which shows a green color tick mark in the output in the bottom window, right? So see here, see the thing. So every time you fire a SQL statement in your workbench, if it is successful, it shows like with a tick mark. Now, can you go to the query one prompt? There are two tabs which are open. Yeah, query one prompt. And what I want you to do is like execute first line once again. Means although we have already created Athena schema, I want you to show to others like how an error will be shown. So select everything, select the first line completely, and once you select the first line completely, just click on the symbol that is just above the C, create schema, like there is a thunder kind of symbol, right? A lightning, yeah, just click on that one. So did you notice here, if something fails, it is again shown in the action output, which is nothing but create schema Athena failed. And if you see the message in the fourth column, it shows error code 1007 can't create the database Athena, database exists. Did you notice that? Which means that it also shows the error messages like what has happened and all those things. So make sure that every time you run a query, just take a look at that output window and see like if things are good or not. Okay. If something fails, it shows clearly in what happens in the message and all. Now, so the next thing like creating a table. I will show you how to create a table in the easiest way. But apart from that, like what I want you to do is like go ahead and execute each and every query, like the same way how you did for the create schema. Copy till the end of line number 8. Okay, did you notice? Perfect. It has shown a tick mark saying that table has been created. Now execute line number 10, then 12, and then 14. So if you notice here, every time you create insert tables and execute the last statement, select star from athena.user, it has created some data and it is showing the data in the form of a table in your system, like one Raghu secret, two Naveen top secret and all, right? Now the same thing. On the left hand side, go ahead and refresh the schemas. So there is a refresh button beside the schemas. Yeah, just refresh it. Once it is done, go ahead and expand that Athena. So if you expand the database Athena on the left hand side corner of Athena, there is a triangle symbol. Yeah, that's good. So if you expand the table, again there is something called as users. Click on the expand users. If you expand users, you will be able to see columns, indexes, and all. Select expand columns, and if you expand columns, you will be able to see all the three column names that we have given. User ID, that means user underscore ID, user underscore name, user underscore password. Okay. Now the next thing is like go ahead and right click on the table, means tables means the user. Go ahead and right click on user. Okay. And initially what I do is like select rows limit to 1000. That is what I select in order to fire a select query basically. Okay, so select star from athena.users. So this is how it fires a select query in a new prompt and it shows the output. Okay, so is it clear till this point to everyone like how you need to do a basic data setup for our applications, like creating a schema, then a table, and then some dummy data? I will show more in my workbench. So everyone, is it clear till this point? Okay, that's good. So yeah, Sai, like let me take a look into that, into your machine. And apart from Sai, like okay, let me take one more question. What's the difference between primary key and unique index, and what is the reason for unique indexing? So in general, like we want to maintain unique indexes, or index is something like means basically, as I already said, like index is something which is kind of a textbook where if you want to go to a specific page or a topic, you will make that as a unique index, or sorry, index, so that it can be retrieved or it can be used to go or retrieve some specific data or information, right? In general, in the database, the primary key will be made as a unique index if you want, so that it can be used as an index column for faster retrieval of data actually. No, no, no. As if your question is like, is indexing the one for auto increment? The answer is no. Indexing is not for that. So let us assume that I'm trying to retrieve a query based on city name every time. Okay. So select start from some information from the address table where the city name is equal to Texas. So if I'm writing a query where I'm firing this query some thousands of times, and trying to do some data retrieval based on the city, then the column city will be made as index, so that data being searched using the index will be done at a much faster rate. Okay, clear? Now the next thing that I will do here is maybe let me just make Sai as the presenter and see what is the issue, and then I will show a few more things here. Yes, I just made you as the presenter. Okay, okay. So I just want every one of you to notice or see this issue. Sometimes if the prerequisites are not present or not installed, it asks you to go ahead and manually download, install and complete the procedure. So if it says like MySQL Workbench requires the Visual Studio C++ and all, go ahead and say okay. Oh, 1 second. So this is the window where you need to make sure that you click, instead of saying finish, click on the left hand side button which shows download prerequisites. Okay, it will take you to this thing where you need to select that Microsoft. It shows the second one, right? Microsoft C++ 2013. Click on that one. Yeah. So come down. Yeah. Say select and select on that download. Click on the download. Sorry. If you go on to the top, yeah. Select on that. I guess like this is where even in the past in the while like there were some issues. I guess try downloading that x86 in 64 bit. Okay, select x64 and say next. Okay, say next. Okay, 1 second. What happened? Yeah, say next. So maybe the screen might be a little bit slow. I just still see that next button is clicked and the page is blank. Did it? Okay, it's downloading right now. Okay, we just hold on and just make sure that the installation is done. Yeah, I agree that and install the try installing the and so did you get this error while during the installation of server or during the installation of workbench? You can say close
During workbench.
workbench socket. Yeah, close and go back to the installer in the background on the right hand side, extreme right hand side in the background. No, no, no. Just hold on. Just hold on. Don't press anything. Uh, on your task manager, do you see beside go to meeting there is a software button with installation uh, beside go to meeting symbol. Okay, okay, okay. Can you minimize everything? Yeah. So now here, okay, save finish. Now can you, okay, wait, can you try reinstalling that workbench once again? Yeah, I guess like this time it should be good.
వచ్చింది రాలా.
Yeah, awesome. I guess you're able to do that, right? Yeah, that's fine. So anyone else has problems during the installation? Also that you still have the problem? Let me make you as the presenter once. Can you show me your screen? Yeah, got it. Maybe what I want you to do is like maybe if possible, uh, can you do something like go ahead and uninstall everything that you have installed and just do an installation once again. I guess it might help. If it do not like, just let me know. We'll try to see a different way, like installing a different database, H2DB or something, in-memory database or something like that. We'll try that. Okay, awesome. Let me just give me a second. I just want to check something. Let me just debug this program and see why it is not working as expected. So I'm able to establish a database connection. Okay, connection is good. Now I'm returning back the connection. Now the query that I'm trying to fire is like, if I see the query, I say like select user underscore password from user table where user underscore name equal to Zagu. This is the query that I'm trying to fire on the database. Now control enter. Okay, so it selects secret here for me. But if you notice the statement dot execute query here, rs dot next does not show anything to me. Statement dot execute query will give a result set. Invalid value for get int. It's also throwing some weird exceptions. Invalid value for get int. rs dot. Oh, that's good news with that. Just a second, I'm just trying to see how to fix this. Results at rs equal to statement dot execute query result set for a prepared statement. Okay. So rs dot next is saying true. So, but what's happening if it says true? rs dot get fetch size is 0. The current fetch size is the fetch size of the object. If a database that is across objects is called out close. Got it. Let's see. Welcome to Servlets login issues. Okay. Let me close other projects. So when I closed all the projects, I just closed this server's project also. So that's the reason I'm unable to start the server. I just reopen it once again. If you double click, it will reopen. Hope it should work fine now. So I say Ragu secret. shows invalid credentials again. So I say, okay, one second. I don't understand, like it executes line number 25, then it's not executing line number 26 actually. Oh, now it came. Okay. Now what is password? The password is secret. Oh, it's good, I guess. So what is the password from DB? The password from DB is secret and the password from the user is secret. So since both are true, it will say true. If true, yeah, I say welcome to the app and take the user to the success page. Yeah, that's good. So that's what is happening. Okay. Now our app is fine. So basically, like I would just like to explain like what we did or the mistakes that we did in yesterday's project or yesterday's scenario. I just realized that, but I still have a doubt on that. Maybe I will I will look into that and re-explain that. But let's understand the concept, like the mistake that we did yesterday. The first thing in a web project that you need to do is anytime you want to add an external dependency, like into my current project, I want to add the features of SQL or MySQL, right? So if you want to do that, just copy the jar. Okay, you might download the jar into some C drive or downloads folder or somewhere, right? Copy the jar and just drop it inside the lib folder. If you just drop it, see here, I will show you. I just delete that MySQL from there, okay, and show you the build path. So in the build path, see it has web app libraries and all those things, right? Okay, now just notice here, as and when I add the MySQL in the lib, it will be listed here. Okay, so what I will do here is I do have my jar here, so I copy the jar, go to my Eclipse, and in this lib I will just paste it. Okay, so once I paste the jar in this lib, and if I go to my build path and notice here build path, configure build path, did you notice here under web app libraries, now I can see the additional jar file that I have added to my project. Okay, so this one basically is used for connecting to the database. So I added the property or the additional feature to my project. So if you understand like what we did yesterday, there are three basic things. The first one is like adding a jar file to the lib, okay, and the next one is adding the dot properties file, and in the dot properties file I hope you remember like 3306 is the default port number and the password is password that we are using and the schema is Athena. And if you say like you want to use a different schema, then you can create a different schema, and in that schema you can create a user table, and in this connection URL you can just specify the schema to which you want to talk to. Okay, so this is the properties file. So this is the second step.
All right.
And the third
I got a
step is
question,
like,
Raghu.
yeah, go ahead.
Can you open that properties again?
Okay,
So where you mentioned db underscore user equals root and then the password is password, is that one of the rows or columns or
which one, on left hand side one or the right hand side one?
um, either one of them? Like, are they supposed to be the rows from our table or?
Okay, so whatever I write here, they are nothing to do with anything with the database rows and columns. Okay, So these are the properties that you use for connecting to the database. Did you notice when you are trying to open a MySQL workbench and click on that instance, it asks for your password. If you notice, just above the password, there is something called as root, which is shown there, right? The root and password. So root is the username and password is the password. The password for connecting is password itself. So these are the credentials that you need to connect to the database. So since it makes more sense, I wrote db underscore password, a key value pair. So this is the pair. So I can say this as XYZ as password, and in my DB connection from Java, I can go ahead and say that, hey, retrieve me XYZ. But XYZ doesn't make sense always, so I made it as DB underscore password, which will retrieve me a value for this string. Is that clear?
Okay, so like, yeah, okay, so can you go back to DB connection from Java?
Okay. Or else let me put it this way.
So,
Okay, let me
so
give
when I go here,
yeah.
what's
Let me give
happening with mine?
let me give a brief. Okay, so please go ahead with the question then.
So what's happening with mine is, see where you got the class.forName driver, and then you got con equals driver manager.
Uh-huh.
For some reason, it keeps on mine. It keeps giving me error, and it wants to parse a connection in front of driver manager. Is
Okay,
that normal, or
what is the password that you gave?
I didn't put any password. I didn't put any password or username at all.
Okay, so if
Maybe
you
that.
don't have a password, all you need to do is just leave this as blank. That's all. And the username by default will be root.
And the root's always gonna be root, yeah.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
Okay, just try with it.
All
It
right,
should
I'll
work.
give it a shot.
Yeah, sure, definitely. So the three things that we did was the first one to add a jar in the lib. The second one, add the db parameters.properties file with all the proper configurations. And the third one is kind of a class which has a method which can give us a connection object. So once you have a connection object, we wrote a method which can take in the username as input and can retrieve the user password as output. So in my login app, okay, in my login app, instead of calling this get password, okay, I just created a different class called read operation, and I'm calling that read operation dot get password, and I'm passing the username. Clear? Means what we did in this registration, in this login project now. Okay, so any doubts like what we need to do? Okay, so see here team, the next thing that I would like every one of you to do as a homework, do the research. Yeah, just try it out. If not, just let me know. Okay. So the homework that I want every one of you to do here is, notice here. I will send this project to everyone now. Okay. Means tonight I will send this project to everyone for Servlet login app. Take this project as a reference. Okay. Take this project as a reference and see here. What did I do? Means see here team. Always stick to the basics. Very very basic scenario. In the login page, I'm sending username and password. I got the username and password. I'm sending the username to the database method. Okay. and trying to fetch the password and compare the passwords. The next scenario that I want you to do is create a registration page. Once you create a registration page, come to the application, read all the details, the username and password details. And once you read all the details, the next thing that I want you to do is go to the database class, insert the username and password. Okay, so understand the homework very, very clearly. The homework is a little bit tricky. When I say tricky, you have username and password for registration. While registering, you have username and password, but you don't have a user ID. So how do you get a user ID for means how do you know that 3 is the user ID that you need to use? For that, understand here, you need to write an additional query called max using something called as max. Okay, search for something like how do you find the highest primary key in a table. Do that, Google, try to Google that and see. It will show that use a use something called as a max, and you can find out the user ID. So if it says that the max user ID in this table is 2, then add 1 to it, make it as 3, and that is your new user ID, and the username password are what you got from the screen. Okay, is the homework clear to everyone? Means it's basically like you need to do a registration and register him so that the registration details will be saved in the database. Is that clear? So Adi, Bhargavi, Irshad, Padma, Sai, Sandeep, Azim, Siddharth, Vindhya. Exactly, Sai. The username and password that you enter in the registration.html must be saved in the database. And the most important thing is while inserting or while giving that save operation, there is an additional query that you need to write. The additional query is finding the biggest user ID, adding 1 to that user ID, and then inserting that as the ID for the current record that you are trying to insert in the database. Like if you type that query, max query, it will show the user ID as 2, and you need to say like 2 plus 1 as 3, so 3 should be my user ID. Means instead of me, means I gave a little bit of hint, right? Try to Google it and see like how to find the max user ID or something like that, and type that query. First see whether you are able to get the proper output or not. Then you try to use it as the primary key, and then use your username and password in the same query, like insert query, insert into table. Do that and insert that record into the database, and make sure that you go to your database and check if it is inserting properly or not. Okay, any doubts, any questions? Okay, that's good. So I'm just